Once Arana, dear friends of Dhamma, welcome to the our English home talk. First, we would like to be my Uddotpado spiritual Dhamma guidance teacher, and we also like to thank you all for attending this Dhamma home talk. Today, Arana say until the in class, will we discuss about Dhamma. Do you know how a Buddhist thinks? There is no self, Sattva here. What is wrong is not thinking about this for such a long time until now. In the history, the kings used to build the Hindu Koil inside the temples as they married South Indian Hindu women. Then half of the Hinduism and half of the Buddhism got blended together and preached to the kings in his manner. At last, it became authority. It is all mixed up now. If somebody is this pure Dhamma, how good it is. How fortunate today the Buddhists are getting away from the Dhamma and they got standard. That is why we say the Buddhists are helpless without knowing the pure Dhamma. We ask, sorry, we ask you to listen to this Dhamma peacefully. Don't get trust. It is enough for you to even a day if you mindful of this Dhamma. If you correctly investigate of Dhamma, when you listen, you may sit as a worldly person, and at the time you get up, you will be noble one. Aryan. There is a person sitting down who is of the view that everything is real outside. We say that there is nothing as such outside. Everything is the mind. If we realize that nothing is outside, his attachment to outside disappear and he got this relieved from the outside. Now he is heading towards the stream entrance, Sotapanna. He, he realizes that there is no truth outside. There is no heaven or hell in. Then there is no place to go. Here only he means mind appears and disappears. Only that. There is no exciting mind in a person. Can you understand that this is non-self, anatmadhamma, no person? Chakku nityato anichato, nicham bhante. The Buddha asks, is I permanent or impermanent? The bhikkhu replied, impermanent bhante. If the I is impermanent, it is suffering. Therefore, can it be taken as self? No reason. This is an anatmadhamma, only this moment, nothing else. We preached this Dhamma while associating with the Tripitaka. The Tripitaka evident that you are telling the truth. The reason that all sutras in the Tripitaka say about the Anatmadhamma, non-self, Anatma. We need to bear in the mind only the pure Dhamma. Otherwise, do not have a path to go. We can do offering like other days. We can do whatever as we did earlier, but we need to see with the two thoughts related to desire, every sin and delusion, and overshadowing our minds. If you see these all thoughts are not true and nothing out there, you see the Buddha nature within you. While seeing that you can worship the Buddha with it. Spend the most of time you will think while thinking that there is the Buddha. There is a person on the outside. Do you worship while remembering that when Dhamma is recalled, the flame of desire, anger, and illusion, and the time and the mind is getting extinguished? Recall that when you see the truth, the flame is the mind puts out. This is the journey which leads to put out burning desire. That is how the mind should be cleaned. In this way, purifying the mind every moment in rest meritorious obedience. Therefore, we know that the faith based on wisdom, Akarati Saddha, leads over extinguished in flames of desire, anger, delusion. This is called seeing the truth. This means understanding that there is no outside in mind. This will lead to the purification of the mind on the other hand. Seeking merit is based on the blind faith. Amulka Sad. Here what you do is see into that there is no mind. You see a mind arise and vanishes momentarily, and there is no exciting mind. The moment you realize the truth, the flames of desire, anger, and delusion in the mind are getting extinguished. If there is a mind, there are desire, anger, and delusion. The mind is available means the book is available. The book is available means the mind is available. Likewise, the child is available, home is available. These all the things are uttered by the mind. But one sees this mind is not true. It is the start of desire, anger, and delusion. Then the mind beings to get pure faith, fulfilled. Up till now, like is law. You did everything what your mind had told you to do. How much you worked for the mind. At the last moment, the same mind does not bear an responsibility for that it asks you to do. You murdered another because the mind went to ask him to do. But this mind does not take the responsibility for the outcome. Following the mind directives mainly increase the intensity of desire and the decision. Yes, when like this we practice our day-to-day Dhamma, many times we uh, we face the many problems and many we need to also we need to get a solution for that. Then a Buddha Father, spiritual guidance teacher, always needed to uh, explain the correct path. Then we will wait a moment. The Father, right, spiritual guidance teacher, joining us.
Much merits, Pavitra, Venerable Paritra Manyo. Aryan Hansi, Thiruvan Sarnai. Aryan Hansi spoke to me last night and asked me to commence the discussion. Aryan Hansi might join during the discussion, or like yesterday, we might have to uh, conclude without Aryan Hansi if Aryan Hansi I couldn't find some time. Um, so first, let me pay homage to Noble Triple Gem, and may us pay homage at the feet of Venerable Buddhopadu Aryan Vansa, our spiritual guide and noble friend. So, dear friends, we are all interested in finding a solution for this unending suffering. As we discussed yesterday, this suffering begins because of the ignorance, because we don't know the truth. A Buddha has to attain nirvana and explain the truth to mankind for them to understand it and liberate themselves from the suffering. And the noble friend or the Kalyana Mitra who is practically experiencing it have to give the guidance to the lay people or people like you and us. That's what was happened when our Samma Sambuddha Tathagata Lord Buddha attained nirvana, and it's such a difficult thing to explain. And even if you explain it to the ignorant people, they don't want to stop the rebirth. That is the craving for rebirth. In Pali, it's called Atma Tanha. And this Dhamma was not encouraged by the our Lord Buddha to write down and practice after parinirvana or the demise of the Lord Buddha. Because this practical experience, you can't write it down in a book. And Buddha's instruction was to the monks, go to villages or the townships and preach and explain them the practical path. And his advice was not to travel two monks in one road. So you understand how important it is for a noble friend to have for you to understand this Dhamma. How many times you read all the books will not give you this. As a person who done it, I can vouch for it. If you look at the Buddhist history after the parinirvana, even till Emperor Ashok's time, no Buddhist statue or anything was established. There is a reason for this. Once Buddha was not in the temple, Venerable Ananda Thero, who was feeling sorry for the people who are coming to see Buddha and not Buddha is not available at the temple, decided to construct a Buddhist Buddha statue. And a carpenter made it a Buddhist statue of the Buddha. And when Buddha returned to the temple, he saw this. And Buddha's immediate instruction was to disassemble it and throw it to the river. Because in this Dhamma, there is, as soon as you believe there is something in existence, even a Buddhist Buddha statue, in return, is feed your ego and the soul. That's why Buddha never allowed to construct statues or write down the sutras. Fortunately for us, most of these sutras were remembered by arhats. Arhats are the people who attain nirvana and without defilements, and they memorize the sutra from Buddha, and same time they show the practical guidance to the lay people how to attain nirvana or how to eradicate suffering. So these teachings of Buddha came from mouth to mouth, and these are actually practical experiences of individual monks who were in a much more advanced level than the monks you find nowadays, majority of monks. And unfortunately, with the invasions to India and to Sri Lanka and many other countries where the real Buddha's teaching how to overcome the suffering was lost, especially Kingdom of Dambadeni, I believe. The books were not written, and there was a famine, and there at that time 60,000 of arahats had no choice but to write it down because they knew they are going to parinirvana or demise. This is how we got the books. Books are very important. Nowadays, if somebody managed to understand the true Dhamma and read out these books, you will see how they are matching. So these Tripitakas and books are very important. So my friends in Dhamma, how do we use this understanding for our liberation? Buddha's guidance was, and the Aryan Vansa is emphasizing that all the time, is Arya Parishana or Arya research. That's what we have to do ourselves. Understanding the truth. The truth begins when you were born, as we discussed yesterday. And even though an infant is a blank sheet, it has astrava, or the child has some sort of a formation or some sort of a condition that it's getting attached. He's getting attached or she's getting attached. And that's why a child is hungry. He used to have mother's milk, would try to cry and get it. And as soon as the as soon as he's taken away from the mother's breast, he cries again. Why is that? Why is it that? This is because it is the essential core for continuation. And then he grows into he grows into young adult, and then as a elderly person and die. Let me ask this question. What the purpose of life? Do we want to born and eat and have a family and then die? Is it having any meaning? Or is there more than that to your life purpose as a human being? That's why Lord Buddha said it's very rare to born as a human being and born in a time of a Buddhotpado time, and then hearing the true Dhamma. Coming back to the example of the child, I'm going back to the child because this is the inception of how we come into existence. And this is how the suffering created, starting point of the suffering. Even a birth is suffering, but you can see clearly, visible to you from your childhood, how this was gradually turned into a suffering throughout the life. Dear friends, the six senses or the six entities, in Pali it's called ayatana. The similar meaning to that is entity, has a deep meaning. What is this deep meaning? The deep meaning is entity or a factory. What that does is it's produce things. And our six senses, eyes produce vision, ears produce sound, tongue produce taste, body gives you the sensation, nose gives you the smell. And these entities, creation of feelings or vision or hearing, create the world. Going back to the mother's example, as soon as these entities recognize the profile of mother, the child start to believe there is mother. Same time, the ego is created and the soul is created. Actually, is there a soul? It's just a thought, isn't it? And these five entities are sensitive to vibrations. And hearing is a vibration. That's common knowledge. And eyesight is same. And sensation in the body is same. Taste as well as the smell. Aren't we slave to these vibrations? Think about it. Have a long thought about it. We are more smarter than this, isn't it? And these five entities with mind continuously work as a process. That's how you get the vision and the feelings and believe you are in existence. As Buddha Aryan Mahanse's examples, when you have a river, do you believe there is a river? It's a collection of water drops, isn't it? It's a speed. How fast the river flows depends on how much water is in the river, or that is how many drops are there. During the rainy season, river get flooded, and you can see you can sight the river more coming over the banks. And in the dry season, you can't see the river. Same like our six senses. With the vibration, these six senses continuously work, and nobody can understand it. Coming back to the childhood, for us to understand the truth, don't you see that we were like, I mentioned this yesterday also, like dolls, winding dolls when we were small, like we were wind up, starting with the parents. They teach you certain things, how to eat, how to recognize people, and they teach you who is the father, siblings, family, and then moving on, you will go into the preschool. There you will learn colors, and you will learn how to do your you will learn how to be independent, like going to your toilet, trying to go to toilet. Those kind of things are taught, and this is where the ego and the craving start to come in. And the preschool, if you can remember, you were fighting for your eraser, and you try to grab into things. This is how the soul and ego solidify and getting stronger and stronger. And when you go to school, they will ask what you want to be one day, and you will get that signal, I want to be this and that. This is how your ego and soul is created. Actually, is there a soul? That's why anatma, non-soul, is explained by noble ones. As long as you believe there is a soul, there is a suffering, because you will try to keep things the way you want, which is impossible because of impermanence, anitya. Would you explain impermanence? Take a moment and see how many thoughts are coming to your mind at this time. Isn't it incredible? That's a speed. You can't count the thoughts and you can't be control of it. It's like the river flows and we are also being floated away, isn't it? We are at mercy till a noble friend come and tell us this is the truth and you are slave of your six entities and these six entities are creating a mirage and we are running behind this mirage throughout our lives, isn't it? Now you understand how much we are exposed to this system and how much we are a slave to it. How do you overcome it? It's not an easy thing to do because you were trained from the day you were born, or you were brainwashed to believe there is a world in existence, and you were groomed to dream. And even if you know the truth, it's not an easy thing to unwind or turn it that way, turn it around and liberate yourself. My friends, this is why it's critical to have a noble friend. He can guide you, but it's up to you to liberate yourself. We are very lucky to born in a Buddhotpado period and understanding this truth. So how do you this unimaginable thing? Because we worked on our thoughts and we get a thought and we act according to that. That is called Chitta Rupa. And these Chitta Rupas are sometimes very hard to understand whether it's true or it's just a That's the flow of thoughts. But none of them are true. They are all based on your six senses and flowing at a very fast speed. This is where you are being shown by the noble friend and a spiritual guide to awaken your insightful wisdom. Those are not thoughts. These wisdoms are being suppressed by the thoughts because when you're born as an infant and going on and on, you will get more and more sankara or thoughts forced into your mind. So the wisdom is gradually going away and away, and you will become a slave to your mind. To get this insightful wisdom, you have to have mindfulness. What is this mindfulness? I believe you have heard it a lot of times in your workplace. Even Western countries are now picking it up in a different way, which is not the mindfulness. In Mahasati Satipatthana, depending on origination doctrine, our Lord Buddha exclaimed, and what we learn from our spiritual guide, Venerable Buddhotpado, is completely different to what mindfulness, which is taught in most of these workplace trainings. What is this vidarshana or insightful wisdom, mindfulness? Going back to the example of the child, when he was taught that mothers, when he was educated or when he was forced to believe, let me use it as the first word yours, forced, which is not correct, but for us to understand, when he was forced to believe the mother, this is the place you believe that you are in existence. And continuing on, everything you learn from outside, colors, when you believe there is a yellow outside, this is the feed to soul. That vibration feed the soul or the ego. And as long as you want to be this kind of a professional, you believe there is a professional of this kind outside, and your ego is fed with this to be professional or the scientist or whatever. So this insightful meditation, what it does is it allows you or it make you to focus on your six entities or these senses. And for example, Right now, I'm looking at my computer and talking to you. And if I believe that, if I say that there's a computer in front of me, that's how the soul is created. So, what Buddha said was, Ditte Dittamattang. That is, if you seen, that's only seen. And you shouldn't process the scene, what you saw further up. I believe you have experience like when you see something suddenly with that vision, you will get something totally different visionaries, visions from nowhere. If you if you see that this is how the system runs. So this continuation of thoughts with the vibration coming from outside, these five sense entities captures it, and then the mind run the pictures. So in the insightful wisdom, you see just it's a system, and you just see it, and you are not taking as your me, mine, myself. My Dharma friends, this is the code to elevate yourself from suffering. Let me give you another example. If you hear a sound which was a bad experience for you, for example, if you have met an accident before and you heard maybe 10 years back, when you hear accident or see accident on the road, immediately that sound and vision takes you to that bad memory, and then you go and relive that bad memory. Then it's suffering. This is a simple example I can give you, but it's up to you. It's our research. It's your own work. What others can do is give you guidance and share their experience. Today I will suggest to you all, take few minutes of your time, sit in one place, maybe facing nature, a tree or something, and look at that tree and see how the six senses are working. You will see the tree, and within a second you will get another feeling or another thought, and you will feel a wind coming and blowing over you. That the body sensation. Sometimes you will get a smell if you sitting in a run. So, and see and experience yourself how the mind is running. It's just like another system, no difference to television or a mobile. Just a sensor board. And don't stuck in those thoughts. And when you practice this continuously, you will start to feel this is the wisdom. Wisdom gives you the feeling. Thoughts are only thoughts, thinking. That's what our noble friend Arana is always try to help us with is to feel, not to be a slave of thoughts. Then gradually your suffering will fade away. With that, also your defilements or cravings, all other things bothers you. And this is as the Lord Buddha said, greatest merit you can do for yourself, not donating billions, but to unwind yourself and liberate yourself. And this is non-soul, anatma. And I would like to suggest if somebody is interested to learn about how to do practical experience of the Vidarshana, Buddhutpada Aryan Mahansa has given 7-day practical pathway. And if you go into Buddhutpada channels, you will find the guidance and you can practice it yourself wherever you are. If you are in Sri Lanka, you can go and practice it in one of the Methmal Arana practical training centers and temples. But this is so much so easy and you can do it from your home even. And that gives you how to overcome the six senses and just to understand it's and when you do this practical training you will understand it's a system just running and it's not me mind myself. And there are some telephone numbers as well. If you want, you can contact those Venerable Mehenil and Venerable Theros, as well as some professionals are getting involved and helping out people. So you can find details uh, in the Buddhotpado websites, and please use this opportunity. And it might be one, not only once in life, but it would be once in samsara. And this is the reawakening of Buddhotpado era. Thank you for listening. May this meritorious deed assist you in attain blissful nirvana. Thank you. Venerable Manu,
Yes.
uh, I think Arana
Yes,
is
Arana has
is
joined us now.
okay. Thiruvan Saranai.
Thiruvan Saranai, Arenhansa, Thiruvan Saranai, our Buddha Dhamma friend.
Thiruvan Saranai.
Just a little thought. Now, as our spiritual guidance teacher, Buddha Arenhansa always and repeatedly explains to us the place, the Rupantiko Ayuso Rupam. I think that's the most important place where we have to clear up, isn't it? Before we have to come out of the mundane world. We have to contemplate on that, isn't it? Um,
Yes,
yeah,
that's right. Each thought is the birth, isn't it?
yes.
And
So
and I think it's clearly this is my feeling, and that's how even you lose your breath in this body. What was the thought you had last time, and it will be telepathy into another place where Samanantare or where it's Samanantare means is
the telepathy
uh,
system.
yeah, it's telepathy, and in Pali Samanantare means something similar to where Samanantara, it, two points
Samanantara.
have,
Yes, yes,
yes, where the 2 points are having equal wavelength,
yes,
and so it's obvious, isn't it? When you lose breath in this body, what was your last thought might be vibrating with somewhere you never know. So that's the danger of sansara as well.
yes.
Um, yeah, and um,
So
and
actually, yeah, what we
and
have to do.
Narendra,
Yes, yes,
sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
yes. I just want to say that we have to understand the system, isn't it? The sensor level and
Yes,
the vibrations. All happens due to the vibrations, no? The existent
yes,
feeling, how the
yes,
soul is made, and
yes,
we
and
think there's something, and how we get
mhm,
attached or disattached. All the
yeah,
things happen to these vibrations, no? So yeah,
exactly, exactly. And even if you understand it, you are by by now you know after practicing it for years, still how difficult it is to unwind, isn't it? Go
that's
against it. It's like
yes.
uh, try to swim in a flooded river, other
Mm.
side, like going uh, try to swim opposite direction of the flooding river.
Yeah,
So that's why it's very important to have a noble friend to guide you. You can easily get lost anytime, and coming back to that Samanantara and telepathy, Aryan was is example of television where you can capture the signals coming from the US or coming from Pidrutalagala, staying in Colombo. And so that's the classic example. That's the best example I have seen. But till that Aryan ones, till I started to listen to Buddhotpado, uh, I didn't understand what is this Samanantara. And we are very lucky nowadays. All these things what we find in our sensor system are being built as equipments. So if you are smart enough and if you are ready to do RA research,
Yeah.
you can realize it yourself. So there are ample of examples for you to see and understand um, Satyajnana, or the true wisdom, isn't it?
Teran Sarnai.
Answer.
Everybody, yeah, it's okay. Uh, very worth everybody is explaining everything. But especially I want to remember, I want to remind something. That's a present moment. Let's awaken to the moment. This present moment is happening in everything. But so this present moment is the thought is not real. No, every moment have a thought. No, this present moment is the we are living only this present moment. Somebody is thinking the future is only the present moment, only the thought. So someone is reminding something fast. This present moment only the thought. This present moment is the only the we are living. But this present moment, Buddha is explaining, is not real. It's illusion. That's Dhamma. That's the true Dhamma. That's the awakened moment. What is this present moment is? How is this present moment is this thought is creating? This is the dependent origination. No, uh, I think everybody know this now. This nobody is here. No one is here. We are thinking everything. Thinking world is mindful world. It's not real. How we have suffering, how we have there's a sadness, how is coming this, and this is the our story. No, no living being is here. Who is suffering is coming? No one is here who is suffering. This thought is the you. Otherwise, who are you? You are not a body. You are your mind. The mind is not working. The senses are not working. There's a briefing is ending. The senses are not working. That's the death. What is this death? Death also the thought. You are thinking. Uh, That's only the thought. But how is these thoughts are creating? That's the story. That's the explaining. We are doing what we are doing. We are doing the explain this truth. This truth is this present moment. All only the we are living. But is this not true? No, it's okay. That's a nothingness. That's a endless. That's a nothingness. That's a no being, no living being, nothing existent. Why? This present moment is not real. So someone understood this. No birth, not death. Only the thought is creating like a machine. It is not real. No. That is the story. Someone understood this. Everything is okay. Everything is no problem because no one is here. Who is sadness? Who's coming sadness? That's only the thoughts creation. Who's worried? No one to worry. No reason for worry because everything is not real. No, it's okay. That's the explain very rare. That's a dependent origination, real one. Someone understood. That is the real dependent origination. Understood. Someone. It's a mind creation. How is this thoughts are creation? That's the kindergarten time little baby. What happened? That is infant that before kindergarten baby. There's a radiant mind. Someone understood this Dhamma is finally coming in that place because this world is not real. It's a mind. No value. After his value is gone. No worry anything. After that is endless happiness. Because it's a tranquility. It's a peace. It's okay, no? Well, thank you for everybody. Thank you, Mr. Padhi also. Everyone, it's okay. Tomorrow we can discuss again. It's okay. Thiruvan
Much
sir,
better,
ma'am.
Thiruvan sir.
Samantha.
Thiruvan